So Andy, a 2-0 win here against Ilkeston at Liberty Way. A tough first half, but we seem to bounce back in the second half. What are your thoughts?
Obviously, the Ilkeston team, we know that they've got some very, very good players, even though they've changed some players this week. I mean, they've signed this week alone, they've signed Tope, who's obviously played for Wigan and just come from Oldham. They've signed Henry Wilder, I worked with for 3 years, who's an outstanding player, left back from Alfreton. And then they've signed Tyrese Wilson, who was at one point was at Derby, and I think Man City put like £1 million bid in for it a couple of years ago. So the quality of them 3 players coming into their squad, when I seen the team sheet, obviously automatically you know that they've already got some good players in Montel Gibson, Jack Thomas, Kieran Fenton, and right through their squad there's some top draw players, and they're picking up since Wardy's got in. To be fair, they've picked up results, and we looked at it and I think it was 4 out of the last 5 or 3 out of the last 5 that they won. So with them quality of players that you've got to give them the respect that they deserve, and the players that they've got, and you've got to be mindful, you know, what threats they've got as well as what weaknesses you can expose. So we knew that it was going to be an hard game, and we've seen that they've picked up recently. So the first half we knew was going to be probably tight and tactical, but the group that we've got, what we are doing at the moment is I keep saying the out-run out-fight, but the lads have got a good structure about them, a foundation to build off. So what they're doing is they're very, very durable as a group, and they work for each other, as you've seen, especially the second half, and sort of grind teams down, and then we sort of get on top of the game in terms of possession of the ball and start probing and the patterns of play, and then we start creating the chances. And I thought the second half we made a tactical change, and we sort of, if you like, had some strong words at half time in terms of motivating the team about standards that we've set here. And sometimes, to be fair, lads don't always take that well, but the group that we've got are good people, and they took that really well at half time. And Bembo come out and set a tone, and Rev Arnell set a tone with the ball. His pressing was excellent, and then backed up by that there was a phase in the second half where we've blocked 3 shots in succession, lads chucking the bodies on the line. So tight first half, but the lads, I thought, sort of then got on top of the game in the second half.
Yeah, you mentioned about those changes that you made at half-time. That saw Max Brogan move from sort of central attacking mid.
Yep.
He drifted out wide.
Yep.
Of course, it's his home debut today. He's managed 90 minutes. How do you think he did?
I heard Max at Tamworth when he was coming through, when he was a younger lad there, same as Prince at the same time. And technically he's a gifted player. And what I like about him is that he's gone away, he's grafted, he's gone to Barwell, he's worked hard. Today, you know what you're going to get with Max. You're going to get lots of quality, so his deliveries into the box had real quality on him, both footed, but he's just come actually back from pneumonia, so he was out for a while. And last week he come on and he was a bit tired, a bit fatigued from the illness, and this week he's got stronger in training. I thought he did well, and in the second half he actually got stronger. I thought he'd die off, but he got stronger, and his attitude to run was good, so he fits into the mould, and he can play right wing because of his delivery, but also he can play in the central area, so it's a good option to have. But I thought he was very good with the ball. I thought his deliveries into the box was good. I think that when he learns how we play in terms of the pattern, he'll do better. But when we're signing players, he fits the mould in terms of the outrun, and he's got the outplay stuff in terms of his technical ability on the ball. And the lads know him as well, and he's a good person. Max is, and I think he'll fit into the group really well because he's got real quality, set pieces and in open play. So I'd say that for his debut he's done well, especially because he's come back from the illness.
Yeah, you touched on players coming back there in terms of Max. Of course, Tyrell Waite come on off the bench today. How important was it to have him back and available on the bench when we didn't have Matt Stenson?
Hey, Tyrell keeps telling us we have only won 1 game since he's been away, which was last week. Since Tyrell's been out, obviously mixed that with Jaden's been out and Cameron Williams has been out and Mac has been out, and we've had Joe suspended and Kane suspended. So yeah, players coming back like Tyrell Waite brings a smile to everyone's face, and even in training he picked up the ball. He's come in training, he just come back from Mancomb, tried take it calm. He dances past 2 and puts it in the bottom corner in training. He's got that ability, he has, and he's got quality in the boots, Tyrell has, and to have that option is really, really good. And everyone, and he lifted the group in training. Everyone's happy to see him because again he's a good footballer, he influences the game, but he's a good person, so people like to see Tyrell Waite around the ground and training because he brings that vibe. So T come on, and we knew that. We spoke to T, and he's an experienced lad, and about managing him. How long do you think you've got, T? 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. Okay, T. So we was obviously winning the game, and we didn't bring him on until sort of later on in the game, just to manage him and sort of ease him back into it. But Ty's getting there, and the minutes are doing well and that. So yeah.
Yeah, and we look ahead on Tuesday night to Aston Villa. It's a break away from league action. We're expecting them to bring a mix of maybe a couple of the fringe players from the first team and their younger lads. What are your thoughts on that one?
My thoughts is I played Aston Villa in pre-season and they bought about 5 or 6 lads what was in the first team, and I wanted money at the time. I won't tell you the score, but they had some technically unbelievable players. I know Mark Harrison and Ryan May down there, the programme that they've probably put in when I was at West Brom with them was amazing, and I know that they've gone into Aston Villa, won the under-18s Youth Cup last year I think it was, and they brought in some great players. So we know that Aston Villa have got physical and technical gifted players, and it will be a hard game for us in terms of probably not seeing much of the ball, and especially because teams are going off to the World Cup, so we understand that like any players what are left over first team wise what probably haven't gone on international duty might be in that group, so that they need to play game time to stay sharp and stay fit. So there might be some first teamers down there for that game, so we know obviously the level that they're at and it's going to be challenging. But we've played West Brom in pre-season against their 23s and it was very competitive. We played Coventry in pre-season against their 23s and it was very competitive. So obviously we'll come and give it a good shot, but we understand the levels we're putting out and we'll prepare like we do for every game. And also, like obviously as well, I know you won't answer the question, but I've seen sort of some comments and that, and some worry of the fans. Obviously we've drawn 3 games in a row, but like just to say that the club has come on such a journey since last year, in terms of Jimmy was saying that there was bottom of the league this time last year, and there was bottom of the league when I come in January. Now the expectation obviously went high because the team's top, or was top, sorry, at a point, but we have to understand that the group's a new group, they've got new players, and it don't happen overnight. But what I can say is that the group's a tremendous group in terms of people, and the staff work tremendously hard here. Everybody at the football club. We don't want to lose a game or draw a game, we don't want to lose to Ruston or draw the 3 games in a row, no one wants that. But when you're down to 12 players and you've got injury after injury after injury, or just a couple of suspensions, it's really hard to probably play the free-flowing football that you want. And also then it's a high demand on the 12 lads what are left to play Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday. Go work for 12 hours in the day and then come here. So the fans are brilliant here at Nuneaton since I've come in. They've been really supportive. The fans though, it's just that understanding that when we go down to 12 and we've got to fill in. Today we had a left back at right back. We had a centre back at left back. So we've got that understanding, and just I'm seeing that because I think the group what they have shown is in the times that they've drawn, they've showed grit and they've picked some up maybe when they won top last year. For me that shows a good journey that they've come on. So, and this is a difficult league, anyone can beat anyone, as you've seen around some of the results today and last week and the week before. So we're trying really hard here at Nuneaton Football Club, but we just have to understand like where we've come from in terms of last year and the year before that and the year before that to where we are now, and nothing happens overnight. It's a process in terms of building a structure and a foundation what don't just come and go but stays for a long time, and the principles of the play are more important sometimes to have that. So for me the group of lads are tremendous and the group of staff are tremendous, and they go over and beyond, and I'd say that they're giving over and beyond for the football club. Some lads, we won't mention name, because we've been struggling, have played on injuries for the football club, for the group, for Jimmy Ginelli. And for me, that shows the people that we've got at this football club. So when I see that, I think to myself, they're trying their hardest, we're giving their hardest. Even on Tuesday nights when some lads have worked 12 hours in the day. So yeah, I think the group that we've got have come a long way, and they're doing really well for the football club. And the staff that we've recruited are doing really well for the football club. And I'm proud to be associated with the members of players that we've got inside the changing room. I'm proud to be associated with some of the staff members that we've got at this football club, because they go over and beyond their pay grade, if you like, and that shows me a lot about them characters and how we've recruited as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you touched on the under-23s of Villa and West Brom and things, and about the injuries that we've got. We've still got a couple of players out. I mean, Jaden's nearly there, Cam we're not quite sure on as of yet.
Yep.
But would that be room for us to see some of our under-21s and 18s on Tuesday? Would they mainly be looking at pushing into the first team? Yeah,
there's a few lads in there who have done really well. I was speaking to Scott actually, and saying Manny, Benji, Sonny, they come to training, they hold their own, they're doing well about their pathway into the first team. The thing is, when we look here, we've got some young lads there like Manny, Benji and Sonny around the 20 years of age. Here we've got Rev, who's 21. We've got Prince Mancinelli, who's 20. We've got Kane Noble, who's 21, 22. We've got Jaden Charles, who's 19, just turned 20, I think, actually. We've got Cameron McWilliams, who's 21. We've got Daddy, who's 22. So there's chances for players to play here, no matter of your age. If you're good enough, you're old enough. So the players have got to be ready at the right progression. Obviously, the league they're playing in, the difference in league is big, obviously in terms of quality. So you've got to be ready. But I've been really impressed with some of the lads and that attitude that they showed when they've come training. So there might be scope for some of them players to play. And we was talking about that with Jimmy the other week about possibly players playing there. And then we had one come back in and it maybe just stopped someone getting in. So that process, and they're training with us, lads are training with us on a regular basis from the 18s and from the 23s, because that's what we want at the football club. At the same time, like I said, they've got to be good enough. And also, when you put lads in, Manny and Benji and Sonny, who have done really well, the gap's not going to be big for them in terms of understanding the group because they've been training with us a long time now. So there is that scope or pathway for them, or even if not here, the boys need to get loaned out to a step 4 or step 5 to play men's football. But there's some good lads there in terms of attitude and physicality that are coming through. But it's just them making sure that they're ready for the level. And what you'll find is that at Nuneaton, our aspirations obviously to be, to try and do the best we can in the league. Sometimes you're going to certain other clubs have different aspirations where younger lads get that better chance. So for me, if you're good enough, you're old enough. So we're working with the lads on a daily basis to try and, or daily or weekly basis, should I say, to try and improve them. But there's some lads coming through at the club, where I can see this season that they'll probably get some game time.
Well, Andy, congratulations on the hard-fought 3 points, and we'll catch up with you after Tuesday.
Thank you, appreciate it. Top man.